question. Why do you think that when it comes to training teachers and like in-service training, why do you think that other professionals from other professions, for example, you mentioned computer science, so a computer science person who's not a teacher but works in that, why don't you think that that person has something to offer teachers? Because you said that you think that the training should be only teachers for teachers.
We have, for example, here in the university, teacher Jose Luis Poblete. He's teacher, English teacher, and he had masters in ELTs or ACT skills that he had taught to us abilities to develop in other areas, how to create materials, things like that, but in other areas, not that, for example, created worksheets or things like that. So I think there are a lot of these teachers that are real English teachers that have these abilities, and our idea is to recruit this person that had the possibilities to teach to other teachers, things like that.
Okay.
You said you wanted this government funded. You wanted the Ministry of Education to be responsible for this programming.
Right.
Why government? Why cannot the private sector, such as this university, for example, provide the same kind of programs and opportunities?
We think that because it would be a good way to the government get all the information, read it, analyze it, and then provide some ideas or some points to improve those areas, in this case educational area. And because also is because sometimes this when the education could be a business more than a like a right. And in this case, it's better when the governments take this and provide the tools to improve to the teachers when other teachers do the programs.
Other idea to strengthen the idea of my classmate, it's because we have nowadays we have the example that education is administered by the municipalities, so there are a lot of leaks resources there. So to avoid these problems, we suggest that this should be an obligation of the government to be part of this program.
So you want the whole program centralized in one location?
Yeah.
And also, like you said, could be developed in that university, for example, but with the support of the government.
Okay.
Put the money and the resources to develop in the better way.
Why not thinking about like a system that can sustain itself? Like talking about like a sustainability.
Right.
Because like a system that receives funds from like external sources, whether privatized or public sources, but a system that doesn't generate income in order to survive or to sustain itself into like an increasing, into improving its program or into providing a better, I don't know, variety of programs, for example. So why not incorporating the idea of sustainability into that system?
That could be a good idea. We didn't thought about that, so that could be a good idea. But first point of this program or this suggestion is to give teachers the opportunity to be recognized because their effort in the profession. So we think that these programs offers the opportunity that government recognize this effort.
Raul, it sounded like what you said was that actually what you just said was a little bit different, not a strictly government-run program, but like, well, a government-funded and run program that would hire private people. I think that's what you just said. So what you said sounds like there could be private elements providing these services, like training services, except they would be hired by the government. So you made it sound like there is a role for private elements in this. And then the second thing I wanted to know, what do you mean exactly by resource leaks?
Money.
Can you elucidate a little bit? Can you kind of be more specific about that? What do you mean exactly?
Well, the example that I have, as I said, of the municipalities, they receive these resources that can be money, and they have to administrate in the municipal schools. So the problem with that is municipality invest this money in other areas, not just in education. That is the principal idea.
And I said that before because I make a comparison with the Finland program because they have the private programs, but they don't have the vacancies for all teachers. So they consider privilege to participate on that. So we think that all the teachers have to be the possibility to improve that, and the government should be support that.
So you're saying in the case of Chile, then the government could, for example, provide teachers with something like scholarships or grants to be able to attend these programs?
For professional development.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem with the system is that you have like a square filled with professionals of different styles and different kinds of expertise or whatever. But then what are you gonna do when entry, like new professionals, and what are you gonna do with the people who are leaving the system?
They have the possibility to prepare the new teachers that enter in the system.
So you need to talk about like the mentoring program, for example. Like
It's a
good
simple-
qualified teachers. Yes. The last question is like a practical question. Some of you guys said like we chose the Finland program because it was the best.
Right.
One of the best, yeah.
And you said like according to the PISA result, it was the 5th. And
Because it's the-
what are the systems are like the 4th, the 3rd, or the 2nd, or the 1st?
This is the most known people, and also is the programs that, or the system that most people talk nowadays. So that's why the reason.
For the
And who's in the first position? Japan.
yeah, maybe Singapore, maybe Singapore and then Japan. I don't focus on the other one, but I choose this because I like the big change that they have in the recent years
Okay.
with a new politics.
I have a question.
To analyze.
One of the main concerns in Chile now is how to select the best teachers.
Right.
So during your research, did you find any information regarding the way the Finnish system chooses the best teachers? Who can be a teacher there? Do they select it according to something like a PSU?
Yeah, they have to take an standardized test, but even in particular, like polytechnical schools and humanist, or I don't know how to say, schools, they have the possibility to prepare a teacher career, and then enter to the specialized or university to choose one area about science, math, or other area, and they have to study for 3 years more to specialize in one area. But they could have both possibilities to continue the studies about the polytechnical schools and take a standardized test to enter.
Right. So for yourself,
Go ahead.
in terms of like a disciplinary and pedagogical skills, which one do you think is more important? A professional to have. A teacher should have like a good disciplinary level and a good pedagogical. So what's the balance? What's your impression about that? Or what's your position about that?
I think that's
I'm talking about like a teacher with a good pronunciation, for example, with a good grammar competence, for example, but lacking pedagogical skills. Or on the other side, a person who can communicate, who can trespass knowledge in a didactic way, in a significant way, but whose pronunciation, whose grammar seems to be like a shaky.
Yeah.
So where to situate the professional? What's your stand? What's your position on that?
I think that it depends on the
Should be balanced.
or complement, but it depends on the level that the teachers develop their work. For example, in a high level, they have to focus in the communication, but in lower level,
How is that balance determined? Like, would there be a formula to say this person has the right balance and this person doesn't have the right balance? How is that done?
Yeah, Alberto, let's hear about your position.
I think it's important to set a balance between things that you said. Now, how to evaluate it. Maybe we could, if this program could works or we could implement it, I think it could be necessary kind of test to see how the level someone has in this at this time to take or to start the program, and then another test to know how the person finished the program. Then we can see the level how it is at the moment, and then, for example, if he finished the program, he said, okay, he has more skills in the discipline or more pedagogical skills, and then make another balance. So, for example, he can take the course, he can like to teach another people, but he or she could take some specific courses to improve him or herself, and then also to teach it.
So do you think then with the in-service program that if the ministry is running this, they should offer, as Freddy has suggested, they should offer discipline and communication skills courses as well as pedagogical courses, so people can work better on work better, get to that balance?
Yeah, it could be a good thing to put some areas, if I can say it, like areas on the board and say, okay, we got this area, this other area, or pedagogical thing, we got 2 or 3 points to improve. And it's not like a big program, okay, we're going to improve how to be a good teacher and talk like this and that, some like with the specific areas we can take to improve.
So I'm an expert in my field, whatever field I have. I'm a good pedagogist, but I lack empathy, for example. So according to your suggestions, like I should take a course on empathy, for example, how to become like empathetic. Can empathy be taught?
Not with empathy, but maybe with some social skills, for example, or area with to interact, to not to create empathy in someone, but to maybe a kind of forum to share ideas and try to put yourself in that case. You can try to learn something like that.
the idea is they reinforce the weaknesses that the teacher could have, and with a feedback college or other teachers that evaluate that, and then reinforce the weaknesses.
So part of the your idea for in-service
With a permanent
is like
feedback.
peer evaluation?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Freddie comes into my class or Eric comes into my class and
Yeah, and the teachers
observes and gives me suggestions and
give
points.
Yeah.
some feedback and then reinforce that.
This is one of the ideas, because nowadays teachers they don't have enough opportunities to receive feedback. So this is a big opportunity to teachers to receive this feedback and improve their weaknesses.
And that feedback should be punitive or formative?
I think that it should be formative.
Why?
Because we don't need nowadays these other things of feedback. So nowadays we have to improve things, not to punish, not to whatever, right? So the idea of the program is to develop the skills of teachers if we have to improve the systems. So I think teachers during the years have received enough punishment from the government or the system. So that is the idea to generate real conditions of work and peer works.
What about teachers that don't want to develop themselves professionally? Would there be any element requiring them to participate in these sorts of programs? And by requiring them, but they don't want to, isn't that already punitive by nature?
Yeah, maybe should be, maybe it's punitive in this case, but
Formative and punitive.
can be, but what happened with these teachers, the fact that it's not actually taking update, sorry, update,
Thank you.
thank you.
Oh, yeah.
They are punishing himself, so.
But what about the ministry, for example? I mean,
I don't know.
providing incentives for people to take in-service courses. I mean, don't make it punitive. Like, yes, you have to say over your teaching career, for example, you have to take 5 in-service courses over your career or something like that. Like, have a minimum to start off with, or offer financial incentive.
Right, that can be ones, and also we offers the opportunity to grow in this, their careers. They will not be teachers in primary or high school all their life. They have the opportunity to grow in their professional careers. So maybe they can teach in the university and then teach in these programs, and also they will be benefit with their payment every month. So I think that
That's interesting you're mentioning about the financial benefit every month, because if I'm not mistaken, similar things have been discussed and proposed before over the last 10 years, and they've generally been very controversial, and they had to be then rejected because there was this feeling that certain teachers were going to get benefits because, let's say, they did this in-service training, and then other people were not getting it, obviously because they didn't do the in-service training. But apparently those people felt so rejected that like the whole proposal was then rejected. It was seen as creating divisions among teachers.
Grow up, that's what I say. Grow up, you know.
Well, do they want to grow up? Maybe
Well-
they've grown up already.
Canadian.
Maybe they
the idea is to think in positive, not in negative. So that is nowadays we need. So I think if you think in positive, the society grows. The idea
That's
is
assuming that all the people think positively. What about the people in this profession who think negatively? What are you gonna do with them? What, I mean,
I think
they're there.
they still in the typical job and they don't have to change and don't have to have better opportunities. They could.
So they'll just keep doing what they've always been doing.
Yeah, but the idea is not how to say.
Not to punish.
Yeah, not to punish and not way.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks for your